beat Villa by 1-0. Taking a look at what that means in the table. Aston Villa remain then in the top half. They currently sit 8th. Remember, it's the top 8 who get that bye.
So they're through, aren't they?
They're through. They're through. It's all dependent on whether or not they get a bye now. That takes it to, because there's another round of matches next week.
There's 2 or 3 teams on 13.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I know that.
Well, why did you say they're through then in that way? You said it in a questioning way.
Yeah, but I wasn't entirely sure if somebody could come from behind with a win tomorrow and a win next week and usurp them. I didn't need you to tell me there's a match next week.
Well, I know, I don't know, but you said it like, are they through? And I was like, well, yeah, all the teams with 13 points are through.
Yeah, but my point is, that's all you needed to say. You didn't need to tell me there was a match week next week.
But you kind of said
some sort of
with an uplifting, questioning tone. So I just thought I'd just.
I'll uplift you in a minute.
Frank, you watched this for us. Tell us about it.
Well, very good performance from Monaco, because I just want to remind Craig, because I know he follows the Ligue 1 very carefully, that Monaco lost 2 games out of 3 and drew against Nantes. They lost last week against the last Montpellier, so they're not in a very good form, but they were, I would say, better than Aston Villa, and I was very disappointed by the Villains' performance, because they should have secured the spot in the first 8, because it was possible against Monaco, but it's like they didn't want to play. I was very disappointed by a guy that I highly rank is Barkley, and this season the Jamaican has not been that good, only scored 1 goal, and today we barely saw him. And Bailey, sorry, Bailey, and he's disappointed because some players did the job, but they weren't there, like to win something. It was like we're happy to visit maybe Monaco, and that's it. But in terms of performance, very disappointed, because they should do much better than that.
Anything you want to add, guys, to this? Did you see it?
No, he obviously went to win it. I mean, that's a strong team. Other than Buendia, everybody else is a starter. So that's a disappointment.
Okay, they have it broken up, of course. We've seen this a number of times. Remember, it's the top 8 who get a bye in the next round. Atalanta up to 4th. You can see how important that victory is. Arsenal, of course, in action tomorrow, as are Inter. You look at the middle part. Remember, it's 9th that would play. What did we work out it was? 24th, and so on and so forth, if things stayed the same. These all then qualify for the next round. They would play 2 legs against their opponent.
At the moment?
At the moment, yes. And then, meanwhile, the bottom side, you take a look. If you're thinking 9 points is what you're chasing at the moment to try and get up there, you would say it is Dinamo Zagreb, PSG. The rest are pretty much dead, aren't they?
Good. I never want to see them again.
Wow. There we go. And of course, it is PSG. Oh, wait, you want to chat about it? What would you like to chat about?
What are we chatting about? Chat about that. What are we chatting about? Let me chat about the table. Yeah. Oh, I loved it split up into 3. It's fantastic.
There we go. Anything stand out for you today, Frank, in life?
Yeah, everything's perfect. And I just checked. Aston Villa is not qualified yet.
But they are qualified. There we go.
Let's not go there.
It's fine. Let's take a look at Wednesday's game.
Any words on Bologna?
PSG against Manchester City is really what we're very much putting as a priority. Of course, 2 giants of Europe facing off. A big game for them. Meanwhile, Real Madrid are in action against Salzburg. One little word on Real Madrid, obviously. A lot of talk about Carlo Ancelotti's future. He would address that in the press conference today, saying, did he ask to leave? He said, no, I want to be very clear. I won't decide my departure date from this club. I know the day will come, but when that day will come, I don't know. I won't decide. It could be tomorrow, after the next game, in a year, in 5 years. I have a target. We have Florentino Perez here for another 4 years. He knows me well, and the target is to be here for those 4 years. We can leave together with all the affection in the world. A reminder then, PSG currently sitting 26th in the table. If they finish the next 2 games still in 26th, they will be out of the Champions League. As we welcome in, Frank and Robbo are back. Just to take a quick look ahead to PSG against Manchester City. Frank, what is the narrative going into this tie in France?
Well, leave or you didn't deserve to carry on anyway. It's a big pressure, but everybody expected that. I mean, with the departure of some top players in the past 2 years, nobody expected Paris Saint-Germain to do well in the Champions League, because they lost. How do you say, they put their level down, you know, for the past.
But not this low, Frank, surely.
And excuse me?
Not this low. Not getting knocked out in this competition where you get, 24 slots to qualify.
I don't know what they did in the Champions League for the past 2-3 years. Nothing much, you know. I mean, it was disappointed every time, and the last season wasn't good in the Champions League, even with Mbappe and some others. So this year, it's what we're expecting, and except the fans who always believe that something is possible and the miracle is possible. Even the club, they knew, and I guess the coach knew that they couldn't, you know, fight against bigger clubs, but it's even worse than that. So it's a time to react. It's not a very good time because City is back to maybe a better period. So it's going to be hard for Paris. If Paris Saint-Germain is the best team in France, it's not the case in Europe.
How do you see this one going, Robbo?
Well, I've been disappointed with PSG, not just with their results, but what Luis Enrique was trying to do with them in terms of there's been a lot of passing, they keep the ball in bad areas, but no real penetration. And that cost them in 2 or 3 games that I've seen in the Champions League. So they need to play more balls forward. They need to get more runners going in behind Man City, because we've seen Man City haven't defended well this season. They need to put them under a bit more pressure with balls played in behind them. But I'm not sure they're going to do that, because that's not Luis Enrique's way. The only time I have seen them play well in the Champions League was against Atleti, when they actually lost in the last minute, when they actually outplayed Atleti, as we know only too well. So it's going to be a tight game, but I think Man City might just edge it.
If Luis Enrique's smart, and going back to what Rob was saying, they're playing early balls, either diagonals or in behind the fullbacks, because that's where City are being caught out time and time again. Now, results have been better. They hammered Ipswich, who are one of the favourites for relegation, so that's hardly cementing we're back. Certainly better results. But even an average PSG side could take this City side apart. That's how ragged they can get. But as Robbo said, if they're going to play this sort of tippy-tappy football that they sometimes do, then it's a bit easier for City to get into a defensive shape. It's a bit more comfortable for them. Where they've struggled is when teams have got at them fast. Yep. And they've been ragged and out of shape. And they've really struggled with that. So if a clued-up PSG turn up tomorrow, I can see them winning this game. Because I'm not convinced that City have really, really turned the corner.
Final thoughts to you, Stephen Nicol?
Yeah, I don't see PSG winning this game.
Oh.
Because, as everybody said, they don't go at you with pace on the counter. They just don't do it. And that is the one thing that you can beat Manchester City doing. So if they're not going to do that, they're not going to beat Manchester City.
That is it. That brings us to the end of today's show.